don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie. Did you have to go to jail? I put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? Hope you didn't catch a tan. Hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. And now you're shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Did you have to pay the fine? You was dodging all the time. Are you still dizzy? But since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Valerie. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. No, and I think of all the things of what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. But since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie. Oh, Valerie, ooh, Valerie. Valerie, why don't you come on over, Valerie? I saw you again today. Had to turn my heart away. Smile like the sun, kisses for everyone, and tales never fails. You're lying so low in the weeds. I bet you're gonna ambush me. You had me down, 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 down on my knees. Now wouldn't ya, Barracuda? Oh, back over time, we were all trying for free. Met the puppets in me. No right, no wrong, selling a song, a name, whisper game. And if the real things don't do the trick, you better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn to the west. Ooh, Barracuda. No. Sell do the trick. Make up something clear. No. Real things don't do the trick. You better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn to the whack. Ooh, barracuda. Very superstitious, writings on the wall. Oh, very superstitious, the ladder's about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, good things in your past. When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Ooh, very superstitious. Nothing more to say. Very superstitious. The devil's on his way. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, good things in your past. Oh, when you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Hey, no, no, no. Very superstitious, nothing more to say. Oh, very superstitious, the devil's on his way. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck and good things didn't pass. Believe in things you don't understand, and you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. No, no. Oh, no. jail. I put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? Hope you didn't catch a tan. Hope you'll find the right man who'll fix it for you. And now you shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Did you have to pay the fine? You was dodging all the time. Are you still dizzy? Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Valerie. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. No, no. And I think of all the things, what you're doing. And in my head, I paint a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Oh, 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 oh. Valerie. Valerie. Why don't you come on over, Thank you, everybody. My name is Avery Franks. I'm a senior at Plant High School, and I just released my first album. It's called Orbit. It's out on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music. You just search Orbit, Avery Franks, and that is exactly how you find it. So thank you so much. So this ain't the end. I saw you again today. I had to turn my heart away. Smile like the sun, kisses for everyone, and tells that never fails. You're lying solo in the weeds. I bet you're gonna ambush me. You had me down, 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 down on my knees. Wouldn't ya, Barracuda? Oh. Ooh. Back over time, we were all trying for free. Not the purpose in me. No right, no wrong, selling a song, a name, whisper name. And if the real thing don't do the trick, you better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn to the whack. Ooh, Barracuda. Oh, tell you the purpose that dive down. like a blues too. All that night and all the rest, swim without looking back, make for the western pools. Silly, silly fools. Don't do the trick. You better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn to the whack. Ooh, barracuda. Once again, my name is Avery Franks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the pre-live stream. And I'll see y'all in a bit. Bye. Actually, I have time for one more. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious ladders about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of better love, good things in the past. Believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Very superstitious. Wash your face and hands. Rid me of your problems. Do all that you can. Keep me in a daydream. Keep me going strong. No, you don't wanna save me. Sad is the song. When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition. No, no, no. Very superstitious. Nothing more to say. Very superstitious. The devil's on his way. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck and good things in your past. When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. And now for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, everybody.
Welcome to the 2021 Grand Prix of St. Petersburg pre-race show. Brought to you by Fight TV and SportsTalkFlorida.com. Coming to you live from the Spa Beach Bistro on St. Petersburg Pier. Featuring Indy drivers Joseph Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Jimmy Johnson, and more. Plus Major League Baseball legends Carl Everett and Tino Martinez. The UFC's Dustin Poirier, St. Pete Mayor Rick Kreisman, former St. Pete Mayor Rick Baker, Blair Witch Project Director Dan Myrick, and celebrity chef Elisa Galenko, and many more. Plus, live betting odds and news from Eric Casilius, and driver interviews with roving reporter Viorica Bruni. Now, here are your hosts, Art Edmonds and Mike Straka.
Welcome everybody to the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg pre-race show, live streaming on Fight TV. I'm Art Edmonds. I'm hosting alongside my friend and colleague Mike Straka. Mike, what an amazing day we are about to experience today. It's hot, it's steamy. We're going to melt a little bit, but I'll tell you what, the weather is not going to be a factor today. We thought we were going to have some rain, but what can we look forward to today?
Well, obviously, as you said, it's very exciting. There's 20,000 people that have been attending Friday, Saturday, and today's event, which is the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. As we all know, there's dozens of racers involved in this match. And like you said, the weather was great. We thought we were going to have a little rain, but it's held off. And we were setting up here earlier today at 6 o'clock in the morning, and there were dozens of people out there on kayaks, and they're swimming. And St. Petersburg is pretty active, isn't it?
They are jazzed. They are pumped up. I live in the Tampa Bay area. This is a huge event every single year. There's a lot going on, and we're going to talk. You're our sports expert here, so I'm going to pick your brain. Tell us about last weekend's event and what's going on this weekend. Our drivers are pumped, and there's a lot happening.
Well, last week was the Alabama Indy race, and that's at the Barber Motorsports Park. And Alex Palau, he won his first career Grand Prix, and that's exciting for him. The last year's Firestone champ here in St. Petersburg, that's Joseph Newgarden. He crashed out in the very first lap at Barber, so that was a pretty bummer day for him. And he also knocked out Colton, which he felt bad about. He addressed that during the week. But he rebounded on Friday. Friday they had their first practice, and Joseph Newgarden led the pack, and he had a top lap speed of 1 minute, 0.8029 of a second. And that's pretty impressive for this course.
And this course, let's talk about it. It is pretty intense. It's not a usual race course by any stretch. It's going through downtown St. Petersburg. Tell us about that.
Well, it's 1.8 miles, so nearly 2 miles. There's 14 turns. It's a waterfront course, so it's all around this area. In fact, you can still hear cars in the background now. They're practicing, and there's a couple other races that are kicking off today as well. The Indy Light Series is here as well.
Right.
But the track extends all across the waterfront, and there's an airport right over there. And
Alfred Whitted, yeah.
And the drivers are going to be racing down the runway. And I've always wanted to do that myself. I'm sure you did too. As kids, we all wanted to see how fast we can go down any runway.
Right.
So that's exciting for these guys. And that airport overlooks Tampa Bay and the St. Petersburg Harbor and Marina. So it's a very nice I mean, when you're watching this on television, it's going to be a great.
Absolutely beautiful scene for a race. And we're coming to you from the brand new St. Petersburg Pier. This was just recently completed. I mean, obviously, last year was a challenge for everybody, but we're outside, we're socially distant. And let's talk about the world of sports, what everybody had to go through last year. Mike, your finger's on the pulse of MMA fighting, all different athletic events. How good does it feel to be back?
Oh, it feels wonderful to be back. I mean, last night in Jacksonville, there was a UFC event, great championship fights here in Florida. Florida's been busy this weekend. But as you know, the UFC was probably the first major sporting league to say, kind of break the pandemic, say, we're going to go to Abu Dhabi on Fight Island, they called it, and they held events, and it was very limited as far as spectators, and then they brought some to the Apex Center in Las Vegas with no spectators at all. But they really were the forefront of, like, let's get back to business as usual. And as we all know, that worked out well for everybody. And like you said, today here, 20,000 people are expected to watch this event. And it's one of those things where it's nice, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's nice to get sort of that back to normal feeling.
Well, you know what? We definitely have that today. There's already people showing up. The restaurants are open. The shops are open. It's a tremendous revenue generator for the city of St. Petersburg, and it's been going on for many, many years here. We had the opportunity to speak with somebody who leads the way in making this event happen every year. Of course, the mayor of the city of St. Petersburg, Rick Kreisman. Our very own reporter, Viorica, had the chance to sit down with him, and we have a great piece that we're going to check out right now. Let's take a look.
St. Petersburg is a very welcoming, diverse community. We celebrate our diversity and the fact that no matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like, your race, your gender, your orientation, your religion, you're welcome here. And we want you to feel welcome here. And we're also a city that loves motorsports, and we love IndyCar racing. We get excited every year this time of the year for, as some have called it, the world's fastest spring break. But we're thrilled with our new pier. What was really important to us is that we create a space that everyone felt welcome at. Families, it doesn't matter, what your income level, there's something there for you. It's a great place to really explore. We are absolutely ready. We've got, I think, the best promoters in all of motorsports with Kevin and Kim. They've got it down, the track build down to a science. I mean, what they're able to do in 30 days is really remarkable.
Is anything different this year than last year when we are talking building the track?
Well, from a track build standpoint, no. They've got a process that they follow to a T, which puts the minimal impact on the community as a whole, but gets it done and gets it ready in time for the race. And come St. Petersburg.
Things break, things fall apart, but we're here. And Mike, let's talk about, we talked about the track itself. Let's talk a little bit more about the drivers. There was a lot of drama that happened.
Yeah, well, the pole position for today's race, big race, is Colton Herta. He took pole position yesterday. It was a dramatic, as you said, qualifier. He had a top lap speed of just 1 minute, .321 of a second, and he's driving the number 26 Gainbridge Honda. So 1 and 2 is going to be, the first row is going to be Herta and Jack Harvey. And the second row is completely Team Penske with Joseph Newgarden starting third and his teammate, and that's, oh God, I just lost my, anyhow, his teammate from Australia is going to be in the gold Chevy car.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And you know what? The drivers are pumped up. The people are arriving, like I said. There's a lot that goes into this. You mentioned just where the track goes, but there's a lot of preparation. It takes a month to put this together.
Yeah, there's 20 million pounds of concrete that's been constructed along the raceway. Something like 12 million tires to build a tire wall, and that's for safety. And it takes about 250 people to put this event together, and it takes about 2 months to construct it and a month to take it down. So it's going to start today. As soon as the race is over, the crews are going to be taking down all of that reinforced concrete. And it's something that creates jobs in the area, as you know.
Sure.
And there's so much to look forward to on an event like this, and you see what goes on. I mean, 12 million tires and 20 million pounds of concrete. That's a lot.
Yeah, got to keep people safe and let people enjoy this event. I often imagine living in downtown St. Petersburg, that was always a concern, like, are the residents going to be disrupted or not support this? But they overwhelmingly do. And you can hear the race going on in the background, the warm-ups happening. What time do we drop the flag and we actually kick this off?
Green flag drops at 12:42 this afternoon. It's just a little over two hours away.
Right.
It's like you said, one of the most important races because it's the second race of the NTT series.
Yeah.
And the drivers really want to come out strong and get as many wins up top as possible because as the series goes on, they all fatigue, as you know. So earlier this week, I did speak with International Motor Speedway Radio Network's Nick Yeoman, and he's an analyst over there, and he told us who to look out for here at the Grand Prix in St. Petersburg.
Let's take a look.
Hey, we're being joined now by Nick Yeoman from the IMS Network, which, if you're tuned in right now to this program, I don't need to tell you, that's the International Motor Speedway Network. Nick, let me get your thoughts. First of all, how important is this event to St. Petersburg every year?
I think it's huge, and it's not just huge for the area, but it's huge for all of us at IndyCar too. I mean, this relationship going back a decade plus is it's an impressive one. I know how fired up people down there in Florida get when the race rolls into town. People come from all out of town, come from the Midwest, all over the place to come for the race. So yeah, it's a big deal, and for IndyCar, it's such a showcase event too. I mean, when you see the overhead shots on television or the pictures with the cars buzzing by right there by the water, it's really cool, and I think a lot of people are psyched up for it.
Now, from a layperson standpoint, can you explain the difference between an IndyCar race and a NASCAR race?
Yeah, I mean, it's to those in the know, it's apples and oranges. The cars are very different. But NASCAR resembles your Toyota Camrys, your Ford Mustangs, your Chevrolet Camaros that you see on the streets every day. Indy cars are high performance, racing specific machines. They go a little bit faster than NASCAR's of automobiles, and also IndyCar goes to a lot of different, more diverse types of racetracks, like a street course on the streets of St. Pete, some natural terrain road courses. While NASCAR, most of the time, you just see them on the ovals. So yeah, it's quite different.
All right, so predictions for winner. We spoke with Joseph Newgarden, we spoke with Pato O'Ward, and they're all very confident coming in here. Two questions for you. First of all, who do you like to win this race? And second of all, both guys described the track to me as chaotic and difficult to manage. Can you speak to that as well?
Yeah, in terms of the track, I think what makes St. Pete and this street course so interesting for these drivers is that it's your regular city streets that cars are driving on, 330 days out of the year when the racetrack isn't set up. So these guys are used to going to racetracks that are perfectly paved. The dimensions are exactly what you want them to be. And then you try to go 150 miles per hour on the city streets, and you're bouncing around everywhere. So it's like a ride in the bull for those drivers. In terms of a favorite, you mentioned one of them, Joseph Newgarden, who's won the last two races there at St. Petersburg, has a good feel for this racetrack. Team Penske's been strong for years. I'll give you another name, though. Sebastian Bourdais, who's won here twice, has been very strong as well. And he's won for underdog teams, and he's driving for one in A.J. Ford's organization. So Sebastian Bourdais, I know he lives in the St. Petersburg area.
All right, great stuff there. And you know what? It's not just about the race here in St. Petersburg. This is a multicultural, event-based city, right? So what does that include? That includes the arts. We have to include the arts in everything that we do. And a film commissioner for Pinellas County, St. Petersburg and Clearwater, Tony Armour, and of course, the director of the Sunscreen Film Festival, Agatha Deskalidis.
Deskalidis, you got it.
I almost got it right.
That
Listen,
was perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I rehearsed that.
Hesitation.
Yeah,
Okay,
I did. I wasn't sure
it.
myself. I fully admit that. I don't know everything. But I'll tell you what, it's great to have you both here. Tony, Agatha. Listen, let's talk about all of the things that are going on in St. Petersburg, Clearwater, that you guys support. A fantastic film festival, we'll talk about that, but it all starts with the Film Commissioner's Office, and that includes independent films, that includes SAG projects, that includes television commercials and TV shows, very much like the one that I work on. We've shot in St. Petersburg, and I feel you are a part of that in some way. We'll talk about that too. But what about your role that is so important to bringing projects to this area?
Yeah, so a lot of what the Film Commission does is not just manage the projects that come to the area, whether it's a student film on up to a large feature film or something like that, but it's also attracting those projects to Pinellas County, to St. Pete, Clearwater, and Tampa Bay area as well. And so I am, in a normal year, I'm out traveling a lot, going to film festivals and film markets and kind of events all over the world, pitching the beauty of St. Pete Clearwater to bring them here to shoot their projects and the benefits of bringing your project to this area.
Well, there is so much character from new buildings and beautiful places like the pier to places that look like they could be in middle America, or little beach shacks that play great roles in all kinds of films. You have the locations for these projects right here.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Is everybody wants to come and shoot in the state of Florida, and we do have everything from the beauty of the beaches to Old Northeast and little towns like Dunedin and Oldsmar and Gulfport and Safety Harbor. And we had a couple of Hallmark Channel films that shot here because they love the area so much. And then we get these thrillers like Fear of Rain with Katherine Heigl and Harry Connick Jr. that just came out a couple of months ago. So a lot of great stuff that shoots in the area, and we're happy to do what we can to bring it here.
And I'll tell you what, just a few years ago in Largo, Seminole area, my show Military Makeover with Montel, we did a season there for a deserving military veteran and their family, made over their home. You guys were so supportive of letting us bring in all of our crew and take over streets and shut down. The support from the local law enforcement, everybody was a part of it. So it does take the whole community to put these projects on. And then when you get something like an independent film like the Sunscreen Film Festival that has grown international at this point, right? Tell us about that, Agatha.
It has. It's actually Tony's baby. He started it.
I figured it looked a lot like him, actually. We need the DNA test.
It has my eyes.
Where is Montel when you need him? Because we need the DNA test, right? Yeah.
It has. We're very excited about this edition, which is taking place next weekend. Yeah. We have directors, screenwriters, actors coming from all over the world, even India included. Thailand.
That's Asia. It's close.
Yeah.
Right.
But it has become very international thanks to Tony, who has been an incredible ambassador, taking it overseas all over the place. So we're looking forward now to the incoming traffic with COVID settling down a little bit and coming back to a new norm here at the film festival, having a live event. We're very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's exciting to finally be doing, a live film festival. So many film festivals have gone online over the past year, and we're one of the first ones really in the country or the world to be doing a proper live event. And we have over 100 films with filmmakers that are traveling into this area just to come to the festival this year, next weekend, April 29th to May 2nd, downtown St. Pete.
And you know what, you probably work with a lot of film commissioners across the Bay and Tampa. And what can we do as citizens to support the work that you both do to bring projects to the area? Because let's face it, there is a tremendous amount of revenue and a lot of people based in the Tampa Bay area, whether it is commercial production, infomercials, it's a hot spot here, and you need the locations. It generates a lot of revenue. There's a lot of livings that are made, myself included. What can we do as citizens to support what you do up in Tallahassee?
Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone, when you're watching TV or films nowadays, you see that Georgia Peach logo at the end of everything.
Yeah, why is that? I wonder why that is.
And that's
why
because,
is that?
The state of Georgia really supports filmmaking and production with a great state tax incentive. It's something we do not have in Florida, and we have not had for a number of years now. And so really, reach out to your state senators and legislators and tell them that it's something that we want here, because Georgia's bringing in $9 billion a year in that particular industry. And it's not just, actors and stars and things like that. I mean, you're talking about caterers and construction workers and electricians, and those are the people that make a movie and make a TV
skilled tradespeople, and that's a great point. I'm glad you made it. There's electricians and plumbers and everybody around here that is always looking for work. Film sets and TV production ongoing is needed. You need drivers, you need all sorts of deliveries. Everything is involved. It's not just actors and directors and people like our friend Christian Krempel, who's big time producer around here, who's always bringing film to that area. And how important is it to work with independent producers as well who are bringing projects?
Yeah, the independent producers are kind of the lifeblood of the industry, really, because
don't tell him that.
I know we don't want to go to his head or anything, right? But really, it's so important to bring these projects to the area, especially without a state tax incentive right now. These projects that are sort of $2 million or under budgeted, those are all independently produced. Those are, everyday people just working hard to put these projects together. It's no big, Hollywood moguls or anything like that. People don't realize the bulk of the industry is done by, just all us regular folks trying to make a living and make good things happen.
That's right. It's all about making a living and living your creativity. And speaking of creativity, what are you most looking forward to as far as submissions this year in the Sunscreen Film Festival? Anybody that jumps out?
There's so much.
There's so many.
Yeah, we have 160 films at the festival this year. So maybe the opening night film was really great. A film called Electric Jesus, about a 1980s high school kid who goes on tour with a Christian heavy metal band.
Wow!
So that's a fun one for sure. And then the parties. Everybody likes a good party as well. A very safe parties, mixing and mingling, right?
Yes, we're being extremely cautious. With AMC, for example, is not allowing more than 50% capacity. We're highly encouraging masks and social distancing, so everybody's looking forward to a good party, a safe, good party, and that's what I'm most looking forward to too.
Let's talk about COVID and the way that it impacted the industry of film and television over the last year. Now, I know firsthand, we actually went back to work in Georgia. We had a family in Georgia last June. We started working, but again, COVID protocols. The crews are all in masks. We actually, being a home makeover show, we can actually be reality and show us wearing masks as we're working and being socially distant. How is the industry testing actors, testing crew members, making sure people get vaccinated? What's the most important part?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Everyone just kind of had to figure it out. When it first happened, everything shut down. No one knew what to do. And then, just like anything else in life, it's like, all right, this is the problem. How do we get through it? And so they set up extensive testing protocols. If you're doing any sort of a union project with SAG or Teamsters or IATSE, 3 days a week testing for every single person that is on the cast and crew. And then with the mask protocols, a new job position, the COVID safety officer, that really keeps everybody on track and keeps everything going. And so now that everybody is used to this and knows what they need to do, production levels have gone right back up to where they were, pre-COVID. So we're right back to 2019 levels of things happening and people shooting and life moving forward, basically.
That's it, and getting vaccinated is super important as well. Are we making sure that film sets are keeping track of people, make sure that they are vaccinated, actors being close to each other, stuff like that?
That's an interesting question. That's something that really the unions decide when it comes to that, and I don't think it's anything that they've dubbed as mandatory right now. But as we move forward, we'll see how that progresses. Same thing with travel. They're talking about what's going to be required and not required for travel, domestic and international. So to be continued as far as that goes.
That's it. We're sort of figuring it out as we go, and I feel like we're figuring this show out as we go as well. So I'm trying to find my segue here. Guys, thank you so much, Agatha, Tony. Look forward to the work that you're doing and support our local arts, support our local film industry here in St. Petersburg. And if you're watching from around the world and you want to bring a project to Pinellas County, this is the guy to talk to right here. They welcome your business as independent filmmakers. So guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to take that mic from you and welcome my co-host Mike back. Mike is going to be talking with somebody that was responsible not only for this event that's happening now, but years past. Mike, welcome back. Guys, I'm going to ask you to step out real quick.
Out of your chair.
Appreciate that. You're watching it live here, St. Pete pre-race show live. And of course, Mike, you've got somebody that was instrumental in making this all happen.
That's correct. We've got former mayor, all right.
Mr. Rick
Good to see
Baker,
you.
how
Rick
are
Baker,
you?
come on in.
Jump in on over here.
Robert Blackman, City Council, right there is good. City Councilman, Robert Blackman.
Yep. Hey, how are you? Good to meet you, Art Edmonds. How are you? Good to meet you. We are shaking here because we are washing our hands, so that's very important.
And I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm good.
Fantastic. You know what? I'll tell you what. That is very important in putting an event on like this. But when you started this, how many years ago, right? You weren't even thinking about pandemics. You were probably thinking about security concerns, right? How has this race and event evolved over the years?
Well, it's a race evolved significantly. The first IndyCar race in St. Pete history was in 2005. So this is the 17th running of the race. And as you can imagine, that's a pretty hard thing to put together.
I can imagine, yes.
Bringing all the parties together to make it all happen. And the first race, we had probably 35, 50,000 people over the course of the first few years. And it was, at the end of the race, people said, was it going to come back? And believe it or not, every year for a few years they would say, "Is it going to come back?"
Right.
And now, we won't get the normal attendance this year.
Sure.
But next year they'll have 150,000 people. It'll be televised in 200 countries around the world. It's probably after Indianapolis 500. This is the premier IndyCar race in the country right now.
What was it? I mean, you're mayor back in 2005. What inspired you to work together to put this all on? How does this all go
We
together?
had some minor series races in the 80s in St. Pete that nothing like the IndyCar or anything like that. But that was part of it. Part of it, I grew up in indianapolis, and so I grew up in earshot of the Indy 500.
Sure. Kind of like we are hearing it right now.
Like we can hear it. In fact, I live in the old Northeast, so I can hear it from my house right now.
There you go.
But just like me growing up in Indianapolis hearing it, my kids have grown up hearing the winding of the wheels during these 4 days.
Nice.
So I really could see what a race like this does for the city, and it brings in the attendance, but most importantly, I don't think there is nothing. Nothing that we do has the kind of impact that this race does for the image of the city worldwide. You know, we have a baseball team, but it's named after Tampa, so people don't even know it's in St. Pete.
Right.
But we have a race here that's the St. Pete Grand Prix.
Right.
People know it's here. People around the country know it's here. But what's really important is that you have continuity. You know, if we had started in 05, I left office in 2010.
Right.
If the city council that came after me didn't support it, and if they weren't enthusiastic, it would have died a long time ago. So like Robert Blackman, when he comes to city council, he's a champion of this race.
Yeah.
You have to have that you have to have that.
Well, let's hear from Robert, because Robert, as an ongoing project here, this is something like you said, inherited. What was it that you felt was so important to keep it going?
Well, you know, I'm from St. Pete, born and raised, so I grew up knowing about the race, and you know, back in the 80s, again, we had some starts and stops, but the big race, how we know it today, came in 2005, and kind of just a preservation, but also, again, it really puts us on the national spotlight. Every few years there's been talk in, you know, the paper and media, do we still need the race? I frankly think we don't need it, but we want it, and it certainly enhances us. So, you know, Mayor Baker was a big cheerleader for the city, brought about a lot of what we have today, but it takes generations instead of leadership. You have to have continuity, you have to have people constantly pushing for St. Petersburg to get us out there, but it's a lot of fun too, and the drivers will tell you, you know, this open street course is just a lot of fun to drive and a lot of fun to be here, and it's a great quality of life.
It kind of brings that sort of Monaco kind of feel, right, to our little downtown St. Petersburg here, which is booming bigger than ever. And let's talk about booming, because this brings a lot of revenue, a lot of jobs to the area.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're a growing economy right now, and we want to make sure we keep growing in smart ways, because we are a landlocked area, so there's only so much room for growth. But IndyCar plays into science, plays into tech. A big thing I've been working on is trying to get the Science Center reopened on the other side of town, a science facility and a campus for kids. But, you know, you see all the kids out here at the race, and that's exactly what you want, to get the next generation involved and engaged in innovative different industries where they can make a good living, and you can also grow the economy in ways that benefit the entire city.
Well, you know, it's a family event. You know, young families come, and like you said, the next generation goes, oh, my dad used to bring me here, and, you know, they bring their kids, and it's something, how proud are you?
You know, I describe what St. Petersburg has become, the downtown, as a 30-year overnight success.
Right.
Because people worked so many years, so hard to build it, and then I think our tipping point we hit at about 06, 07, and then it's been self-propelling since then, and like a rocket ship. And you might know or remember, St. Pete was considered kind of a sleepy retirement town for decades and decades.
Except for around here, Beach Drive, there were some great restaurants and a few bars.
Well, that didn't start till about 03, 04, 05.
Janice Live, all of that. I used to come to concerts.
So that used to come, right. And so, but I think when the green flag was waved in 2005 for this race, that was the moment St. Petersburg became cool. And from that point forward, it's just the trajectory's gone up. It wasn't just the race, it's the Dali, it's the museums, it's the galleries, it's Beach Drive, it's the businesses, Duke Power. It's all that came together. But I really think that trigger point, because all of a sudden, now people in Europe, people in Monaco watch the St. Pete race.
Sure.
People know that St. Pete's a real thing, because in those places, they think of St. Petersburg as a racing town. And I think what's neat is that the people in St. Petersburg now think of us as a racing team.
That's-
And that's amazing.
Well, that's an accomplishment and a credit to you. And let's get off the racetrack for a second here. What's going on with the Rays? Obviously, American League champions last year. Are we going to see any progress with the new stadium? Are you going to keep them here in St. Petersburg? You don't have to give away too much if you're in discussions or whatever, but give us a little hint.
Well, there's been a little bit of back and forth recently in the media, as you've seen, but I'm a big Rays fan. I love sports. That's why I'm here today. That's why I was at the Super Bowl pregame as well. But as far as the Rays, we just need to talk it out. I just want to have a dialogue with them. Maybe they do stay, maybe they don't, but we were excluding them from the talks, and that's no way to treat a business partner. So if we come to the table in good faith, and the other thing I would tell you is, for years we were trying to make something happen with the Rays, but frankly they had no incentive whatsoever to deal because they had so much time left on their lease.
Right.
We always talk about how ironclad it is from our standpoint. It's ironclad from their standpoint too. So now with 6 years left, it's the perfect tipping point where we could get them out early and get economic development, but they can still get the development rights, because if we go beyond 2027, the city gets all the development rights. So both parties are equally incentivized to deal right now.
Yeah, the time is now to start making a deal, because obviously it's a great caveat for the city to have a world champion baseball team in their backyard.
The effort to bring baseball to St. Petersburg was a 20-year effort also.
Sure it was.
And it was an enormous, we built a stadium when we didn't have a team.
Yeah.
People thought we were crazy. And then eventually the team came and we have it. So I do think it's important to, first of all, you have to, like Robert said, and I commend Robert for his leadership on this, you have to keep in dialogue with them. And it's like it's some levels of our government have cut off dialogue with them. That's a mistake. I think if you're going to do a stadium deal, first of all, I think it may be a little early for the city to do it. We got another 6 years. But if you're going to do a stadium deal, I think it'd be good. It's probably something you ought to say for the new administration next year in the city, and work with the Rays.
Well, that's all well said, and it gives us a great insight as to how involved you guys are and how much you have put forth to bring events like the Grand Prix, excuse me, to this area, and to keep our baseball team together. So, thank you for your work. I don't know where Mike is. I think Mike has left me, but I'm going to run the show. Excuse me. I'm going to run the show, and if I can get the frog out of my throat. There he is. Mike, come on back, brother. Great to have you both here. Apologize for that for a second. Mike, what do we have coming up next?
Well, it's one of the things that most of the racers here are aware of is how chaotic the streets of St. Pete are and how chaotic this track is. And I spoke with Joseph Newgarden, last year's champion, and like I said, he describes this as pure chaos. Rob, let's roll that tape.
Thank God.
Absolutely. Good to see you guys. Thank you.
First off, how are you feeling coming into this event?
I feel good. I'm excited to get back. It's been a good track to me the last 2 seasons, in both 2019 and last year in 20. It was obviously a strange year in 2020, but the fact that we got back to St. Pete and we were able to compete to end with the season finale was actually quite fun. It added a lot of pressure with a street course environment to cap the year off. So I love that place. It's a great event for us in IndyCar, always a highlight. So excited to get back.
Any pressure to defend your championship, or is just another day at the office for you?
Well, I think it's just another day. I kind of keep it boring, but they're all important. It's almost like having a bunch of kids. Like they're all important to you. And it's the same when it comes to races across a whole championship. There's not one race that really makes or breaks it. It's a culmination of all of them. So you normally got to start the year off pretty strong. That's the goal at St. Pete when we traditionally have it as our season opener, is to get out of the gates really strong, get some points on the board, get everyone feeling really good about the year and confident, that we can challenge throughout the entire season. So that's, I think, really the catalyst of what St. Pete can be. But yeah, it's like any other day. I don't think we try and put too much pressure on it more than any other race.
What kind of race can your fans expect to see this weekend out of you?
Well, St. Pete, it's a challenging track for avoiding the chaos. Normally in turn one is chaotic to start the event. If you can get through that, then you're normally off to hopefully a good day at the track. If you don't get through turn one, then obviously it'll end pretty early. But the tough thing about it is you get through that first start, feeling good about things, get settled in, and then maybe you'll have a restart at the end of the race and you're like, oh no, I gotta do this all over again and try and get through it one more time. So it's not even trying to not make a mistake yourself at St. Pete and keep the car out of the wall, but it's almost trying to avoid everyone else's mistakes,
Right.
protecting yourself. So I think, chaos is always around the corner there, which is exciting. It's thrilling, but nerve wracking for us inside the cockpits.
I bet. As the only American to win the Formula Ford Festival in England, how did that prepare you professionally for the Indy Lights and then obviously for the NTT IndyCar Series?
Well, it was really fun for me as a young kid to go over to England. I was 16 at the time, and just enjoying every moment I had inside of a race car. And when you're young like that, you're growing up and you're loving racing, and you get to go to a completely different place that you're not familiar with. For me, that was England. It's to compete in a really famous race. It was the Formula Ford Festival is always been a big springboard for huge Formula One stars, whether it's Michael Schumacher or Ayrton Senna. And traditionally, there's not been a lot of Americans to go compete in the event. So to come in as kind of an outsider and to challenge everybody from our country was really exciting. And then to end up winning it and being the only American that's ever won it, which is surprising to me, but it was definitely a springboard to Indy Lights, like you said, and eventually IndyCar.
Well, Indy's racing's been very popular in this country for a long time, but do you find that it's really important for more Americans to become champions to really get the sport even higher at a higher place in this country?
I think it's definitely important to have American talent in the sport. I don't think it's the end all be all for the popularity of it. I quite like that we have a strong international flair to our series. We've always been a racing championships that wants to bring in the best of the best from around the world. We're not a championship just filled with American drivers. And I've always appreciated that. When I was growing up, I wanted to compete against the best of the best. Sure, I think it's nice to see an American winning the championship. I think that's important for some people, but I also know a lot of fans in the United States that, their favorite driver is maybe from England or from Australia or from Japan. So I don't think it's an end all be all that you have to be an American, but it is nice, for some of the real strong hometown pullers that they have an American presence in there and that they're doing well.
All right, once again, we're talking with IndyCar racer and champion Joseph Nikolai Newgarden. Oh, you know what, Joseph Nikolai? What's the origin of that middle name for you? Is that a family member? Is that a family name?
Yeah, I'm half Danish. My mom is fully Danish. My dad's fully American, so I got a little bit of Scandinavian flair in there. That's what you're picking up on.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today, Joseph, and good luck this weekend. And once again, thanks for talking to Sports Talk Florida. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
And all right, welcome back everybody to St. Pete Live. We are sitting here pre-race day at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, having a great time. Art Edmonds joined with Mike Straka, and of course, there's a lot of stuff that goes on around these races, around any sporting event, right, Mike?
That's correct, yeah. Especially when it comes to wagering.
And fortunately, we have our expert, Eric Casilius. Eric is joining us right now via Zoom. Eric, can you hear me, buddy? Great to see you again. Now, we had you part of our Super Bowl Live 55 event. Great to have you back.
Let's talk about wagering because
you can bet on anything, right? Vegas is always open for business. What are people looking at right now around this race?
All right, all 24 drivers are on the board, and we do this. We don't do this by team. We do this by driver. So it's literally the 24 drivers. We list them. They have odds, and you can play it. The guy on the pole, Colt Herta, he is the betting favorite, and he has the shortest odds. That's what we call it. We don't call it the favorite because he's not more than 50% to win. He's either the betting favorite or has the shortest odds. He's plus 250. So 29%, that's the favorite, if you want to say it that way. But the betting favorite is Colt Herta, who's on the pole, the 21-year-old American.
And are people doing a lot of the betting from home? Are they actually in Vegas doing this? How does it work?
It's great. Right now, basically every house that you can bet anything, if you want to bet football, baseball, basketball, they now are right here with us in the Tampa Bay area, for the Grand Prix of St. Pete. So if anywhere that you would normally make your wagers, anywhere that you normally play, you can outplay this event as well. And I'm understanding that they may have some in-race wagering. So these odds may change during the race. So if there's a driver that you like how he started, or maybe a driver that you go, I don't like how he started, but I think he's going to come from back in the pack, you can play that during the race and ultimately get a better payday.
And are you following this? Who are your favorite drivers right now?
Well, look, I like the local guy, right? And first of all, Sebastian Bourdais, hometown track, he's a two-time winner. I know there are a couple of things that you don't particularly like, but that's why the odds are so low. He's plus 1,000, 9%. I think that's good value there. And Joseph Newgarden, look, you guys won the last, very good in our area. Didn't have a good start last time out, 23rd. But if he gets his car right, that's a guy that down the stretch I trust. And at plus 300, he's good value as well.
Fantastic. Now,
people bet on the weather conditions. I mean, let's get silly. What can't you bet on?
Way the houses have done this is they're basically just putting up the drivers and then allowing you to rebet drivers during the race. Because this is the type of thing where they're moving around so much, and St. Pete gets this once with the weather and that kind of stuff, they feel like maybe they wouldn't have an edge. I talked to my folks who make the book, and they said, look, we're just going to stick to the drivers in this one, because right now we feel like we're giving too great of an edge if we start doing driver parlays and weather and stuff like that, because we don't know enough about it. And guys like you and I know more about it than they do.
And let's jump off the track for a second here. Let's talk
football, because that's the last time that I spoke with you. Are people making bets on the off-season moves that is happening in the NFL right now?
One of the biggest wagering sort of growth industries is on the NFL draft. You can bet over under 4.5 quarterbacks in the first round. Over under, will Mac Jones still be on the board with the 4th pick in the draft? How many wide receivers? Will the first defensive player be taken in the first 8 picks? There are a million prop bets regarding the first round of the NFL draft. More players from Auburn or from Georgia. All kinds of stuff that you can bet. The NFL draft is coming huge now.
Well, there are definitely winners out there right now. We always know that Tom Brady, he's not competing in anything right now, but he definitely won because he woke up next to Giselle.
I thought I won because I got to wake up and see your smiling face.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, I feel the same way about you, my friend. Listen, Eric, thank you for giving us such great insight on the race and all the wagering that's going on. We've got so many things happening here. It's such a diverse event. We're talking about racing. We're talking about film and TV. We're talking about St. Petersburg in general. And right now, we're going to talk a little bit about a guest that's going to join us right here. So I'm going to say goodbye to you right now. Eric, thank you. We'll see you at the next event.
Actually, we'll see Eric in the next hour.
In the next hour.
That's correct.
You know, you can't get rid of Eric, can you? Mike, it is so great to be a part of this event. And obviously, there's so many things that go into it. And you might be wondering why we have fantastic Horse Soldier bourbon sitting up here right now. There's a great story, and obviously anything connected. Working on Military Makeover with Montel Williams, I get to experience firsthand a lot of these amazing veterans that have so proudly served our country, many of them getting hurt in the line of duty. And on our show, Military Makeover with Montel and I assemble a group of designers and contractors and local people that come in and volunteer and support the makeover top to bottom of a home of one of our proud military veterans and their family. So when we get to meet another veteran, and of course, Mark Nooch joining us again, you were on our Super Bowl event. Great to have you back. It's just amazing what you're doing. We're going to talk about the amazing story of Horse Soldier and how the bourbon came out of it. So give us the background on the movie, your experience as a Green Beret, and first of all, thank you for your service.
Hey, thank you, Art. Thanks for having us back here again on this amazing show. It was such a good time during the Super Bowl. And just out here in beautiful sunny St. Petersburg today.
Sweaty,
you can hear
sweaty. It's not just
sweaty.
sunny, it's sweaty.
Sweaty, but you can hear the roar of the Indy cars buzzing, zipping around the track. I had the amazing experience yesterday with the legendary Mario Andretti. Got the IndyCar experience.
That's
160
awesome.
plus miles an hour around the track. Did you hear me screaming? That was me screaming.
I
in the back.
doubt a man of your caliber does any screaming whatsoever.
Oh, it was so
seem
amazing.
Bigger and badder than race cars.
Yeah, but we have this amazing brand. Horse Soldier Bourbon that's just blowing up. It's been a great transition for us as Special Forces veterans, over 6 years now. We've had this amazing company here in St. Petersburg. Just tremendous growth. We're in 12 states now across the U.S. And we've got here in St. Pete, we've got the amazing Urban Still House that has opened. It's a fine dining restaurant. We invite people to come out and taste any of the amazing food we got, as well as some incredible cocktails.
Well, you know what, St. Pete becoming known for many things, right, Mike? I mean, you love to go out and experience dining and culinary experiences. Some amazing chefs in the area as well. Right?
Absolutely. We have Chef Elisa Galenko, who was kind enough to show us a couple of her recipes, which we'll get to a little later on in the show. But I wanted to ask you, what's the reception been like for Horse Soldier? As far as you're in 12 states now, but are you seeing online sales? How are you getting?
Yeah, with COVID, our online sales has just skyrocketed this year. It's become such a critical part of our business. But nationwide, the turnout has just been tremendous. We're probably quietly the fastest growing craft bourbon brand in the United States right now.
And this is your signature product?
This is our signature product. We have two of our amazing bourbons up here that are award-winning, authentic story, just all-American brand. As Special Forces veterans that served our country, and then as we transition into this incredible business in this industry.
And what people don't realize, you don't have to drink bourbon straight. I admittedly, I said this last time, I'm not a brown liquor guy, right? But you've made an amazing cocktail here that has a completely unique, different flavor. Yes. What is this?
This is our bourbon basil smash. It's one of our signature cocktails, and it is our premium straight bourbon. That is a high rye mash bill, double gold winner from San Francisco Spirits Festival.
It's delicious.
So you got some of that in a pre-batch cocktail mix. It's a breakfast bourbon that we got out here as well, not just for lunch or dinner. Sharing a little bit with some friends and commemorating the special moments in your life. But this is our signature straight bourbon with some sour mix in it and some basil.
Excellent. One of the things that you get to do is speak with veterans all the time on your show.
Sure.
Military Makeover. I would like to know, what's the significance of the name Horse Soldier?
So, thank you for asking that. Coming on 20 years ago, I led this incredible Special Forces team on a historic unconventional warfare mission into Afghanistan right after the 9/11 attacks.
Right.
And our team uniquely rode horseback. We worked with the different Afghan militias, united them, and in the mountains where we were isolated, that entire force of thousands, including my American Special Forces team and our CIA teammates and our Air Force teammates, we uniquely rode horseback for the first 23 days in the combat. They made this incredible Hollywood film, 12 Strong. It came out a couple years ago that showcased
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth portrayed me in that film. His wife.
How did that feel?
It was incredible. My daughter's got a great kick out of it.
Kind of so like Daddy and Hemsworth.
In all seriousness, Chris and Michael Shannon portrayed Bob Pennington, who is one
great
of our
actor, by the way.
Teammates, in partners in the Horse Soldier Bourbon brand, and then all the other incredible actors that portrayed my teammates. It was surreal seeing that they made a film about Special Forces, about Green Berets specifically, in that historic unconventional warfare mission.
Mark, we always hear about military films. How realistic was their portrayal of what you
I think you touched on that already with Chris Hemsworth portraying me. I mean,
yeah, it's very good. Well, you know what?
My wife reminds me.
Let me also say Marcus Luttrell, lone survivor, Mark Wahlberg. So Marcus and I worked together on one season of Military Makeover. It's really strange, isn't it? Mark Wahlberg's this tall, Luttrell's this tall. Yep. But honestly, did you feel it was a representation of what you went through?
It is representational. We're so honored and humbled. There had not been a movie specifically about Special Forces since 1965 with John Wayne and the Green Berets.
Wow.
I know there's a ton of SEAL movies out, and I've met Marcus on a couple occasions briefly, and all those other great movies that portray the incredible things our special operations community does as a whole. And so we're just honored and humbled that there was this movie that portrayed a snapshot of that incredible mission that focused on Special Forces and what our country did when we were united on September 12th and the months and weeks and years afterwards, how united we were as a country.
We were indeed, and it's important to think about getting back to that. And I was going to just say something a little cheeky, which was, Marcus is cool, but he never brought me a bourbon cocktail like you did.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And you're welcome to it. We got some more out here. We're doing a great, we got some of the Horse Soldier Bourbon team out here at the St. Pete Pier. We're going to be here till noon today doing a little bourbon tasting over here, and folks can come out and enjoy some of this bourbon basil smash. But it's other parts about our incredible story that you asked, Mike.
Yeah.
Our bottles are, because of that tie to 9/11, our bottles are uniquely forged by World Trade Center steel.
Wow.
So a little memorial in every bottle there. We want folks to live legendary and celebrate the challenges and the things that they've overcome and celebrate the victories in their life. And we hope that they'll choose this amazing brand, Horse Soldier Bourbon.
Just one more question on a personal note. How did you personally navigate the relationship between your Afghani fighters and the Taliban that they were fighting along with you? What was that relationship like, and what was the language barrier like?
Yeah, definitely some language barriers in that part of the world. My team did have some experience working in that region prior to 9/11, as did a handful of other Special Forces teams working with our allied partners. But we had to work through those language barriers with the limited language skills we did have. Our CIA counterparts were there as well to help with some of those deeper conversations. And then we had some amazing Afghan interpreters that spoke some basic English that were able to help us with that as well.
Were you surprised that suddenly you're in the midst of battle and your only transportation are horses? Was that a surprise to you guys?
Yeah, we were a little shocked by that, definitely. But the guys did an incredible job adapting to riding horseback. They have some of the best training in the world that our Special Forces go through. Our team was very mature and cross-trained, but it was a significant emotional event riding horses for the first time in combat. The U.S. military had not done that since 1942. Wow. And so we're figuring it out. I grew up on a cattle ranch and rodeoed and showed horses.
Whose idea was that anyway?
Well, that's the situation we were put into. And it was adapt to move with the army that General Dostum and the other commanders were building were mounted on horses. They were in a very isolated and rugged area. Yeah. And in order to continue advising them on a day-to-day basis and be able to move and help coordinate the combat operations, we had no choice to ride horses. It's
adapt and overcome.
Yeah, definitely. But we've just had incredible careers, and as we've transitioned into this amazing business that we've helped to build, it's just been wonderful meeting folks across the United States. In the 12 states we're currently distributed, folks can go online to horsesoldierbourbon.com, and like you said, with online sales can take us into 33 states where we don't have to have that physical presence. But I'm, prior to COVID and a few through here, and over the next coming months as the country opens up again, which I know everyone is anxious and excited about. I invite them to come out and see us at Horse Soldier Bourbon Promotions. If they follow us on Horse Soldier Bourbon on our social media pages. But I'm also with the Speakers Bureau, and so I've started to do some corporate events for hundreds of people that have gathered and celebrate and learn more about what those companies are doing with their brand and how they're growing.
And speaking of companies, Mark, there's so many great veteran-owned and operated companies, so many companies that hire veterans because of the specific skills that you learn in the service. I mean, and starting your own company, entrepreneurial, American as it gets, right? Companies like Horse Soldier, Black Rifle Coffee Company, same kind of vibe those guys created. They were Special Forces guys too. There's so much value to hiring and working with veterans. What would you like to tell corporate America?
Just give them a chance, man. These guys, these men and women are not going to fail you. They are mission focused, driven, committed. Give them a chance. They just need something to latch onto. Give them some guidance, what we call commander's intent, and what you want as the end state or the effects you want to achieve. And those veterans are going to do amazingly well for any company that'll give them a chance.
Amazing. amazing. Mike, what's coming up next?
We're coming up next. We're going to have an interview with Pato O'Ward. He's a Monterrey, Mexico driver, 21 years old. He's one of the guys to look
That's
out.
the least Mexican name I've ever heard.
Yeah, Pato O'Ward, right? Actually, he's Patricio. So Patricio O'Ward.
Okay.
However,
still, you lost me with O'Rourke. I'm just saying.
Yeah. As Eric was telling us on who to watch, Pato O'Ward is one of the guys to watch here today. He's going to give Joseph Newgarden and everybody else a run for their money. I got a chance to speak with Pato earlier this week, and Rob, if you got Pato, let's roll that tape.
Mark, thank you. Hey, thank you.
That was great.
Sports Talk Florida being joined by Pato O'Ward. Pato, what kind of race can your fans expect this weekend?
I think you guys are gonna see a very eventful race. I've got a feeling that it's gonna be a good one. Barber always produces some great racing, great passes. It's a very fast, very flowy circuit. And strategy is pretty open. You know, you can do a 2-stopper, you can do a 3-stopper. It really depends on what the team is going for, depending on what your strong suit is. But we should expect a very good race this weekend.
Well, I interviewed one of your competitors, Joseph Newgarden, earlier this week, and he told me that St. Petersburg, there's a lot of chaos on the track. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes, I agree.
What makes it so chaotic out there?
I think what makes it so crazy is that it's very difficult on cold tires. What's around you is not grass, it's walls. And there's very different pavement changes. So you go from concrete to different kinds of concrete to different kind of asphalt or whatever. So it's very tricky. It's very physical. And all the pickup from the rubber goes to the side. And since it's not really a wide track, whenever you have to pass someone, you have to go over that pickup. And then that makes your tires go way bad, and it's a lot harder to clean off. So I think it's just exciting. It's an exciting race, but it's inside the cockpit. Sometimes it's not so exciting.
Well, this might sound like a kind of a dumb question, but do you train differently physically? When you physically train for races, do you train for different tracks? Do you have a different training regimen for different tracks that you guys race on?
It's a good question. It really depends. I feel like if you've been paying attention, or if anyone's been paying attention to the driver Instagrams or the guys that post about training, everyone is training so hard before Barber because Barber is so physical. But then after Barber, you've got another place like St. Pete that's equally as physical. So I feel like the hardest off-season training has probably gone down this year.
All right, so growing up in Monterrey, Mexico, what attracted you, first of all, to IndyCar racing?
Just the love for racing, the love for cars, the competitiveness, and just the excitement that the series brings to the fans. I think the fans have a chance to get up close and really see the cars and interact with the drivers. I think that's very special and something very unique that IndyCar has to their series, very similar to NASCAR. And it's just a great series, man. I mean, it's so competitive, but you have to be good in every single type of racetrack, which makes it even more satisfying whenever you do win a championship or you do win a race, because it's just so tough to do it.
Well, 2020 for everybody else was kind of a weird year with the pandemic, but for you, it was the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year. Did that, speaking of fans, did that increase your fan base when you won that award?
I don't think it did. I think the race that made my fan base bigger, I think, was Road America, where I had a really good battle with Felix Rosenquist, who's now my teammate. But yeah, we've got some good races last year, and just really looking forward to making things happen this year. Just, win races, challenge for the championship, and just all in all, just enjoy it, have fun with the team, and give them what they deserve. They've been putting a lot of hard work in the off season, as well as myself. So I'm really excited as they are as well.
Well, you've had 22 races over 3 years. St. Petersburg has been good to you on the track. What do you think of St. Pete, the town in general?
I love it, man. The restaurants are great. The vibe is great. Hotels are good. The track is awesome. It's just an awesome event to go to, not just as a driver, but I think as a fan is one of the cooler places to go because man, you can get right up against the wall and the car's just boom, boom, and you feel the vibrations, the noise, the smell, and it's one of the places where you can really get all the the sensations and feelings that a race car weekend should give you.
Now, we always talk about the driver, but your crew is the lifeblood behind you. Uh, how close are you guys? What's the camaraderie like in the pit and in the garage?
It's very fun. It's very easygoing, but whenever everybody suits up, it's game time. It's showtime. You got to perform. You have to execute. It's high pressure environments, but we all get along so well, and that's what I love about this team. Our McLaren SP. It's such a homey, and it's honestly my second family. I live in Indy now, and I spend a lot of time with my engineers. I spent a lot of time with the mechanics, with Taylor, the president of the team, and I really enjoy just spending time with them. And there's just great people, very hardworking people, and hopefully they think the same of me. But yeah, I just think we've all meshed really well, and we're looking to capitalize on opportunities this year.
How important, as a driver, is it for you to understand your car? I mean, your car really is an extension of yourself, and how deep do you go as far as understanding the mechanics and understanding what your engineers are doing in the garage?
Yeah, so it's not something that you can learn from overnight, but it's something that over the years and over the course of doing races and qualifyings and weekends, you understand more. You understand what changes do what, how they feel, what you might need.
All right, last question before I let you go. There's a lot of pressure on all athletes to cross over into the entertainment world. Do you see yourself in Hollywood or on television or doing something a little different with your career? I know you're very young yet, but you probably have a lot of years in the entertainment world if you want it.
Oh, it'd be cool, man. I would love to do a cool movie or something. I'm a big fan of movies. So yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I don't really know how to get into that business. I feel like I have to know someone. What I have learned in my years of being in racing or just in life in general is it's all about who you know. So I'm sure if I meet someone that's very high up in the ranks in Hollywood, maybe you can see me in a movie.
I like that guy. He is super cool. He is the super young stud of racing, isn't he?
Absolutely, really cool dude.
Well, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Art Edmonds, Mike Straka, and I'll tell you what, it might be time because we're getting a nice little breeze here for us to cool off and for you to enjoy some beautiful scenery of the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area, and we'll be back with a fantastic, refreshing cocktail right after this. Stick around.
welcome back. We are live. Art Edmonds along with me, Mike Straka. We're having a great time here. I wasn't expecting to get cocktails, were you?
I'm absolutely ecstatic that we got to have a couple of cocktails. Great bourbon, great story with Horse Soldier, and the stories continue and the cocktails continue. Harry's Blues, this is a fantastic gin. Now we're back in my wheelhouse here. I always say if I can't see through it, I don't want to drink it, but I'll tell you what, this is a really, really special product, isn't it, Harry?
Thank you, it is. So it was about a 10-year culmination for us. We used the purest alcohol in the industry. There's only 3 plants in the world that can produce a product that clean. It's ultra pure, it's almost completely demethanol. Then we bring that into Miami and we add 10 real ingredients from around the world. It was a maceration process. We extract the flavors from 3 of the main components. Then we kettle, distill, and we vapor infuse the delicate ingredients, and then it sits for about 60 days. We're really, really proud of the product. We won a double gold right out of the gate last year, and it's a top seller at Total Wine. The #1 SKU in South Florida and the gin SKU, so we're excited to be here.
What's the competition like? Sorry, Art. What's the competition like in the gin world? You know, we see a lot of different gins, obviously, but you know, we've got celebrities doing tequilas and celebrities doing vodkas. We don't really see too many celebrities doing gin. Are you gonna maybe
other than Harry?
Well, that's right.
Only you guys think that. You know, Ryan Reynolds did really good last year with his aviation gin, and
That's right.
the truth is, you know, gin is a bit like a tea, where there are so many flavor profiles. You know, you may be in the mood for one thing one day and something else the other day, where it's not as loyal perhaps as a following as some of the whiskeys and bourbons and things like that, where it's so specific. But this is a long-term plan for us and a long-term goal, and who knows, you know, maybe someday a celebrity will be associated.
Well, Mike and I are available.
I was going to say.
You know,
wait, call my agent.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows.
That'd be great.
My agent,
we are.
My agent is right here, by the
way. We'd be honored to have you guys.
Well, tell us about this. You know, gin is a really unique flavor profile, and the handcrafted cocktail movement is so huge. There's so many great places, so many great restaurants. We were commenting earlier about, you know, the culinary movement in the St. Petersburg, Tampa area. There's also a cocktail movement in Miami, in Tampa, in St. Petersburg. And how does Harry's Blues play into all of that?
So when I basically, just to give you a little bit of history on the culmination of this spirit, I traveled, 2 other couples, my wife and I traveled together for about 10 years, and I was in charge of the spirits. So after a few years, I wanted to put my stamp a little bit more on the journey, so I would purchase spirits that weren't part of the shopping list. And then when I decided that I wanted to come out and distill my own gin, I started to research that a craft spirit or a craft cocktail should be almost a complete drink. So the craft spirit itself should be almost a complete cocktail. Therefore, it's very flavorful. So even though I only have 10 ingredients in the gin, they're all real ingredients. They're mainly organic and kosher ingredients. And we did the utmost to extract the flavors and the ingredients and the flavoring from those. So I just ran into a consumer that's up here at the race also, and we were commenting on how just a little bit of tonic with our gin is absolutely spectacular, and he loves it.
Well, we won't mention that was me that you were talking to.
You know what though, Harry? You're absolutely right, and simple is always better, and now especially because the mixers, like Fever Tree and others, have become so specialized with the different flavored tonics and things like that. But you're going to make something really great for us here. I see a little bit of Asti, right?
Yes.
And some great fresh from Florida juice.
Yes.
And some Florida berries, right? Let's tie it all together. What are we going to make?
So this is I call this my Indy race drink.
Okay.
And it's a twist on a mimosa. And I'll get you started on it. So I've got a little blackberry I like to put in the bottom of the glass.
Hey, make a wish, Bruce. Make a wish.
Make a wish, guys. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So what we'll do for this size glass is we'll put in a half a shot in each.
That's only because the glass is small.
That's right. I usually do a full shot. Here, that one's yours. Now top it off with the Asti.
Mike, I'm getting your script all wet with the sweating bottle here, but it's live. It's live broadcast.
I was going to say the script that I wrote like 10 minutes ago. Is that the one?
There you go.
And then just a splash of the OJ. Just a splash.
And can you use a different juice if you wanted to use pineapple, mango, raspberry?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Something that's got a little sweetness in it. The Asti's sweet already, but I think, thank you. Thanks for that. I think a little, anything. What I tell people is that this is the people's gin. So if you like pineapple or you want mango or you want pink grapefruit, go for it.
Fantastic.
Well,
Cheers,
as
guys.
the race is about to begin, we want to wish everybody safety today. Nobody crashes, and we'll drink to that.
Yeah, and stay safe out there as well. Listen, while we sip on this, I'm noticing the gin right away. That great sort of gin flavor that everybody's typically used to. I might even have to take a sip of this, just pure. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pure, because you want to taste the flavor before you mix it with anything else. And this is a really, really great gin. I do love gin with a little bit of lemon, maybe some star anise, and a good, clean tonic water. Really, really good.
Yes, and the fever tree actually does go quite well, and we use elderflower.
Yeah, what am I smelling in this gin?
So that's a very unique nose that we developed. It was a blessing. You've got a combination of elderberry, citrus, and the elderflower, and that's what you've got there. There are real spices in there as well, and it's really the combination of the recipe.
I'm not smelling that sort of strong, astringent alcohol smell that you typically would associate with a lower quality gin.
Awesome. Also, something that I wanted to have a nose note. Thank you.
Really, really very good.
Thank you.
Just totally straight right there.
Yeah. So like the label says, I mean, you can enjoy it neat, or you can enjoy it in your favorite cocktail. And I really want it to be, I'm going to take the Rock's line here. I hope he doesn't come down and chase me in St. Pete, but I'm calling it the People's Gin. Because however you want to enjoy it and wherever it takes you to your happy place, it has the ability to do that. And we've been blessed, and we're happy to share our creation with the world.
Well, you know, Harry, in a warm climate like here in Florida, and you know, in the summer up in the Northeast where you live, gin is a fantastic cocktail. It just sort of lends itself to a tall, cold glass of ice, you know, with a great mix or whatever. And again, it can go from a brunch cocktail to an evening, a gin martini. There's so many different ways. And when you start with a quality liqueur, then you're absolutely heading in the right direction.
No doubt. No doubt. Thank you very much for that. And you can. French 75s, white sangrias, martinis.
Just real quick, where can people find Harry's Blues?
Harry Blues is in about 100 locations throughout the state of Florida. Total Wines, a lot of the independents, and soon to be in 11 more states through Total Wine also.
All right. And you know where else it's about to be, Harry?
Where's that?
In my house.
Nice.
I'm taking one of these bottles.
Well, hold on. Harry, we're gonna say goodbye to you. We're gonna bring in John Freeman from Edge Energy Drink, but I want to get a couple more cups and kind of do it Edge Energy Drink.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
so
let's
Harry,
do it.
will you stand by? Hey, how
Harry,
you doing?
Harry, you're going to be our celebrity bartender. Actually,
super.
Harry, I'm going to take this mic from you. I'm going to give it to John.
Yeah, go, Harry, grab us a couple extra glasses. And John, let's talk about this
John,
Edge Energy drink.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
John.
wanna sit over here?
No, you know what? Stay right there. That's perfect.
Hey, how are you?
You can hold the mic yourself.
Sure. So let's talk about this. With taurine and caffeine, there's a lot of energy drinks out there on the market. What makes yours different, John?
Edge, look at the name. It's our formula that gives us the edge over the competition. And here's why.
Marketing.
But it's not marketing, it's the truth. The reason why.
I'm seeing less calories. I like that already.
And only 17 grams of sugar, but the reason why is every energy drink has a rancid, terrible aftertaste. But our product has zero aftertaste. It's smooth, it's premium. Please, try for yourself.
Oh, okay. I was going to try it clean first.
Please.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep speaking, John. Tell us about it as we pour.
Listen, the most successful people in life have an edge. We're living on the edge. What is your thoughts? Tell me right here, right now, live on TV. You just tried it.
John, I'm going to tell you this. It tastes like the energy drinks that you're used to, but I'm not getting that sugary, syrupy, heavy flavor. And the reason that I stopped mixing it with my favorite vodka or whatever is because it was just so syrupy and bad. This has a very light citrus flavor to it.
Premium, smooth, delicious, without an aftertaste.
That's it. That's exactly it. And it's more like a very light flavored, sparkling, soda water or something like that.
Wait till you try it with Harry's gin.
Okay.
Well,
have you guys planned this out before or no?
We just happen to have tried it together and know what it's like.
All right, Mike. Pour one for Mike.
This is here?
No, I need
right there. Yep, that's got. Yep.
All right, so this is just Harry's Blues, right?
Yep.
Our favorite gin that we just talked about.
And it's going to put you on the edge.
And a little bit of edge.
We're living on the edge.
We're going to kick
living
up
on the edge,
and
right
some
here.
fresh
Who
fruit.
doesn't
Cheers.
live on the edge?
Well, I feel sorry for everybody watching us and being jealous.
Yeah, listen. Wow.
That's fantastic.
What a pairing.
That's fantastic.
It's almost like it's not overly sweet.
No, it's not at all.
But the fruit flavors work really, really well together. The citrus balance of your product, and of course, our great gin flavor that sort of comes through, that aromatic flavor.
You know what, Art? This reminds me of is going to the Kentucky Derby and having a mint julep. That's part of it. Now, before every Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg,
Did we just invent something?
We invented something,
Right?
But Harry, we got to come up with a name for this drink.
That's well, how about on the edge drink?
Yeah.
How about Indy on the edge?
Indy on the edge.
Indy on the edge.
I love it.
We like that.
You heard
We
it
like
first
that.
here, people.
That's right. Eat
And
your
Harry
heart
knows.
out, George Clooney. Eat your heart out.
Yeah, not only that, but I'll tell you this: the show just got a whole lot better.
Listen,
Can
who
you
doesn't
hang
live
out for
on
the
the
next
edge?
hour?
Who doesn't live on the edge?
Well, listen, I feel bad for our director Rob and our camera ops Rick because they're not enjoying this with us.
No,
but
I
don't
don't
worry,
feel
guys.
bad at
We'll
all.
save some for you.
I don't
worry.
feel bad at all.
We'll have plenty.
They can wait till after the show.
And Harry knows this is my turn for a little bit of edge. I'm cutting in on Harry Blues Gin, which is delicious.
No, but John, tell us a little bit about where you originated from and,
Yeah, exactly.
and
How'd
about
you come
what's
up
the
with the
story,
formula?
the story of your company.
The story is this. My partner is a doctor. His name's Dr. Adnan. I'm an attorney. We started the first public-private contract in Brazil in 2010 for generic pharmaceuticals. Long story short, the owner, the principal of the university down in Brazil signed the contract with us, first time in the history in Brazil. And after the contract was signed and they were going to provide generic pharmaceuticals at a great price to the town, Paraná, he decided he's canceling the contract because he was a politician and he used us for his platform to become mayor and hopefully president. So while we were in Brazil, we noticed that the industry...
Is this going to be a long story, John?
No. No. Well, you asked for the history. I got to give you the history. So
No, you need to ask, is this going to be a
real-
short
real-
story? Because the answer is no.
No, the answer is real quickly.
Good thing we're on a live stream.
We decided to make the energy drink market is huge there, so we decided to make Edge, and we made a pallet, and it went over so well. And literally everybody who tries our product says this is 100 times better than Red Bull or any other energy drink because there is no aftertaste. And Edge can compete with Red Bull in bars, clubs, restaurants, hotels. You can't have any other energy drink in those, avenues.
Well,
arenas.
and ladies, less sugar, less calories as well. So ditch that Red Bull for sure.
With
right?
with vodka, it's unbelievable.
John, what's the distribution model? Where can we find Edge?
Edge Energy USA on Instagram. We are priding ourselves to start and have our business online to differentiate ourselves and make it difficult but sexy for people to purchase.
That's right. You want to create the demand.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well-
You don't want to be everywhere like Mike and I.
Yes. Right.
Hey, cheers to that. Cheers to Harry's Blues.
These guys don't even offer me a drink because I have the mic in my
Well,
hand.
you have
But
the
that's
mic
okay. That's I can drink in the mic. I can do that easily.
Hey, do we have another cup for
No, it's
for
okay.
John
it's
or
okay.
what?
John wants a double fist over here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Here,
Thank
well,
you, Harry.
Here, try
Hey,
this.
Rob,
we're gonna
Oh
do.
boy. Oh, look on air.
Chef Part 1. Woo! Listen, I want to keep this on the dining genre right now, and I want to go. We have this wonderful chef. She's celebrity chef Elisa Galenko. She has provided us with a couple of recipes for her favorite foods to eat while she's watching the race. We have part 1 of a segment, and then Chef Elisa is going to join us live right here on set after this segment. Check it out.
I'm hungry.
Commercial? Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Hi guys, my name is Chef Alisa. Welcome to White House Kitchen, and I'm here to give you the quick and easy on this really cool recipe. Today we're cooking with you dry wrap flank steak with corn grilled salsa. Perfect for PATA Award IndyCar driver from Mexico, Monterrey. Believe me, this is a recipe everyone will love. The different combination of spices will give a special flavor to the steak. If you want more recipes, follow me on Instagram, Alisa Galenka, or my website, appetitbyalisa.com. So here's what we need. Dry rub, 2 tablespoons light brown sugar, 1 tablespoon ancho chili powder, 1 tablespoon paprika, 2 teaspoons kosher salt, 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon English mustard powder, 1/2 teaspoon ground coriander, and 1/2 teaspoon ground cumin. Also, other ingredients, we need cilantro, corn, red onion, 2 limes, cherry tomatoes, jalapeno pepper, and the main ingredient is flank steak. So, mix all dry spices in a small bowl, just like that, all together. Then, cover the steak with a drop and drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It will help you spread evenly the dry rub across the steak. So next step is to prepare your grill. We need it on medium-high heat, and now we have to grill the corn. So you can do it in 2 ways. If you have a grill, you can grill it. Or if you don't have a grill, you can do it on the stove, just like that. Turning it up patiently until it's lightly brown from all sides. Then we have to cut kernels from the cob and put in the medium bowl. Set it aside. We don't need half onion, just slice it in half. And first you have to cut it lengthwise, just like that. Not thick slices, not thin. Also, one more trick, if you want a more smaller cubes, you can cut it in half here, and then just dice on small cubes. So now move the onion to the same medium bowl with corn. And let's start to chop our jalapeno pepper. Seeds removed. Cut it also on lengthwise on half. It's easy to clean inside. The same slices as the red onion, not thick, not thin. And dice it. Move it to medium bowl. Then slice cherry tomatoes on half, just like that. Now chop cilantro rough, just like that. Place it in the same bowl. And the last ingredients is 2 limes. First, zest lime in the bowl. Cut it in half. Squeeze the juice. So now just season with salt and pepper. Just a little bit of olive oil. And toss it to combine. You see, it's beautiful. A lot of different colors together. It smells so good. And the next segment, I will show you how to put all together and some variations how to place this dish with flour tortilla, with corn tortilla, and rice.
Amazing. I am hungry right now.
Oh, me too.
And
me too.
Elisa Galenko, who you just saw joining us live, welcome to the pre-race program.
Thank you.
Let's talk culinary, because we talked all sorts of bourbons and gins. And
Yeah,
there's a craft, handmade movement going on, both in cocktails, but also in food and restaurant. And you being a private chef, you're a Food Network celebrity competition winner, right?
Yes.
What sort of trends are you seeing, and what do you really see being the next wave in culinary?
So I think that it's very popular right now to mix different cuisines together, you know, some kind
Different
of
genres.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like more fusion, for example, to mix like Italian and Japanese together, you know, some spices from one cuisine, from another sauces from another cuisine. So I think it's going to be a next trend.
That is a really great point because it's almost like music. You know, food is like a symphony, right?
Yes.
All the different parts.
Oh, that's nice. I have to
Hey,
remember
come
that.
on, we're gonna get. You want to talk sports?
Wait,
talk to this guy right
wait,
here.
no, food is a cacophony.
All right, stop using big words, Mike. You just lost half our audience. No, seriously. It really is like music because you're combining different genres now. It's like mixing rap and rock or
It's
country
all about
and,
art.
and
It's
rock.
all about art.
Right, so it's about taking different genres of food, Italian and Asian, and blending them into something new. And what are you creating?
So I like, because I have an international experience cooking all around the world, and I like to take some recipes from another country, from different countries, and mix together. So I like to experiment on my kitchen. You know, I never stuck with one recipe. I like to create like different, really different recipes.
And what are some of your favorite regions of the world and different food profiles? What are your
So
favorite?
I'm Russian, but I think I'm born Italian because I love pasta really so much.
Well,
I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, come on, Mike.
I love pasta. That's,
Exactly.
I can eat pasta
Pasta,
for breakfast,
yes.
lunch, and dinner. And I could put tomato sauce and marinara sauce on my
Everywhere,
on my
right?
cereal. You know, on my Wheaties, I can put marinara
Okay.
sauce.
Yes. So Italian food is my favorite.
How about a connection to St. Petersburg? Obviously, there's a big foodie scene here. Have you visited a lot of the restaurants in the
Oh
area?
yeah, absolutely. So I immigrated to the United States, to Tampa 3 years ago, and of course for me it was a big shock because I've been studying in Europe, in Paris, Spain, Italy, and it was a big shock, to know like American culture, American cuisine for me. And of course, I had a huge list of all restaurants what I have to visit in St. Petersburg and Tampa. So I like to explore because it's my profession, it's my job, and I can remember the recipes, the dishes from one restaurant, and just to create something with my recipe.
You know, one of the things that a lot of chefs pride themselves on is their training and where they went to school and where they learned how
Yes.
to be a chef. What was your background?
So I've been studying in Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. So this is, I think, the #1 school in Paris and all around the world. Also, I've been living in Italy, in Palermo. So we're south of Italy. It's like really the best food ever. And Spain. Also, I graduated from pastry school in Moscow.
Like you said earlier, chefs are the new rock stars.
They really are.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, they get to travel a lot, apparently.
They
Yes.
do.
I've been in 35 countries, so.
All you need is a tour bus.
And she's only 22
Exactly.
years old.
Or your own private
Oh,
jet.
thank you.
Hey, we mentioned at the top of the segment your experience with Food Network. Tell us about that.
Oh, actually, it was so spontaneous. So they found me through my Instagram channel because I have a food blog there, and they called me, and I'm like, okay, call from LA. I'm like, who's it? I'm sorry. And they told me that they wanna see me in their TV show. Of course, I had some more interviews with them, and a couple months later, I went to LA. And I won the competition. When I called to my mom, so she's in Russia, and told her like, listen, who do you think won the competition? She's like, Lisa, it's 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm sleeping right now. Can we talk tomorrow? I'm like, Mom, come on, wake up. So I did not believe in that because for me as an immigrant, it's very important, and I'm sitting here right now. So God willing, God knows what's the best for us.
How do you see, you've been all over the world, obviously. How do you see certain regions of the U.S. Really evolving and coming to the forefront in the food world, in the foodie world? Obviously, New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas has a great culinary scene. How about in Florida, specifically St. Petersburg, Tampa? There's a big movement in all sorts of global cuisine, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I think Tampa and St. Pete right now is growing more and more since I moved here, and I think because we have like a Gulf of Mexico, Florida is all about seafood for sure.
But it goes well beyond that. I think also, the experience. People are looking for something new. They want to see, the knife skills. They want to see the preparation. They want that nice experience. And obviously, being a professional chef as you are, you get to bring that world of experience to someone's plate every time you cook for them.
Yes, so I open, guys. I'm a private chef, and I have a lot of people who's my clients, and also they hire me for knife skills and different cuisines, and I'm ready to open with people to share my experience all around the world.
Fantastic, and great to have you as part of our amazing pre-race program. Listen, you have to eat and you have to have a nice cold
You
beverage.
have to try my steak for sure.
Oh, we're coming over.
Sign me
But by the way this show is going, we'll be drunk by noon.
Uh-oh.
That's hopefully that's what's going to happen. Yeah, we'll see.
Chef Elisa Galenko, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us. Right now, we're going to when it comes to the world of racing, one of the biggest names is Kevin Savary. He is Green Savary, promoter of most of the IndyCar races that we have in the United States, and our roving reporter Viorica Bruni spent a lot of time with him on Friday. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much.
It's hard not to enjoy St. Petersburg, Florida. I mean, it's a beautiful setting. The weather's beautiful. The drivers are all so talented. They know what the limit of the car is, and
Don't worry, we didn't need that.
the technology in the cars is so good. Whether it's the shock absorbers or dampers, the springs, the Firestone tires themselves. 14 months ago, we were here really ready to get going, and that's when the pandemic started and the shutdown started. So literally we had the track built, ready to go, had to cancel, and then within a week started working on getting it rescheduled for the season finale at the end of October. I think there was a story out of the Alabama race last weekend that a piece of a tire went over Ryan Hunter-Reay's head, and who knows what the outcome of that had not been had there not had the halo around him now. So again, I think that's what racing is about, is to try to make it a great, safe environment for the competitors. And, we learn every day. St. Petersburg is such a great city. It's hard not to feel good when you're here, right? The sun is shining, the weather's beautiful, great restaurants, lots of, we're in a theater, great performances from, some of the most talented people in the world. It's just such an alive.
Welcome back, Art Edmonds. Chef Elisa is a great get for us. I'm really excited that we had her on the show. What was your impression?
Anybody that can talk about food in such a knowledgeable way, and it's obviously a passion, that is really impressive, because what ends up on the plate is a representation of themselves.
Absolutely. And if there's anybody who could talk about food better than anybody else.
Better than you and I?
Better than you and I. It's Eric Casillas, who's joining us again live on Zoom from New York. Eric, what's your favorite race or sporting event
snack?
First of all, I wondered why I wasn't invited to sit next to you guys. And I've been waiting all day to get the answer to this, and now I have the answer. You didn't want to share that delicious stuff. I don't blame you. Fine, I'm not offended anymore. I get it. Food is food. That's the way it goes. I think for me, I'm a local favorites guy. So it's not so much the race, it's where the race is. So in our beautiful city there, I would go with the local favorites. I want some great fish. I want some great delicacies. I would have a great time. And I feel like I'm getting a flavor of the area when I eat the local stuff while I'm watching a race.
Well, speaking of local, I mean, we're talking about
betting, and we're talking about odds. And Las Vegas, for instance, and you've been there many times, has been a culinary, I guess, a renaissance over the last 15, 20 years. Some of the best restaurants and the best chefs are in Las Vegas.
Everything in the world is in Las Vegas.
Correct.
There's not a lot that you're to not like there. The weather's good, it's glitzy, and basically these gigantic buildings exist one after another to give you more value as a customer. And if I don't give you more than the two guys on either side of me, I go out of business. It's a buyer's market. It's great. Tell you what, you and I will go to Vegas. We'll do the triathlon, the sauna, steam, jacuzzi. Then we'll get all shined up. We'll get massages. We'll go out to eat. It'll be great. We'll have a great time. And we'll wager.
Absolutely.
Speaking of wagering, first of all, I look at these sports books and casinos, even in Atlantic City, New Jersey, out in Las Vegas, different places across the country. Sports books look like a NASA control room these days.
Yeah, look, it's now algorithms, right? Because the public is smart and people have information. And if the bookmakers aren't really on top of their game when it comes to setting spreads and lines, they're going to get taken. You know a lot about it. I know a lot about it. If we can find an edge here and there, that's exactly how it works. So these guys really need to be on top of the game. That's why they don't like to put too many things out too quickly. For example, for today's race, we just have the 24 drivers' odds to win. They haven't put up props yet because they're not quite sure where they can get tickets to the cleaners.
Well, as Art and I and you, Eric, know, in the television world, the big advertisers, make the world go round. And for a long time, it was pharmaceuticals, and then it was liquor, but we didn't know how to do liquor, so liquor was just late night. But all the ads I see these days are for online betting companies, and they've literally taken over ESPN, Fox Sports. Every time I tune into any or UFC fight, anytime I tune in, I see DraftKings, I see all kinds of online betting. How has that changed how people are making their wagers?
Well, there's now, look, when the Supreme Court said, hey, it's now legal, they opened the floodgates. And now we're sort of, running through trying to find our seats. It's like when they opened Disney and you get those, first 500 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people that go running through the parks. And then eventually the lines sort of settle in and everyone knows where they're going. We're at the part now where we're running through. So everybody's just trying to grab as much market share as they can because it's happening so fast, so quickly, and it's so new and it's so exciting. Everybody's throwing all their money back into advertising to try to sort of capitalize and become the Microsoft or Apple or Coca-Cola or McDonald's of the gambling industry.
Well, before we get too much
off point, before I let you go, who's the favorite to win the St. Petersburg Grand Prix of St. Petersburg today?
The 21-year-old Colton Herta, he is the favorite or betting favorite, shortest odds. He's plus 250. That's 29% to win the American. Joseph Newgarden is second, right behind him, plus 300. That's 25%. Next up, Simon Pagenaud. You go down to 13% there, and then Pato O'Ward is at 11%. Once you get by that, there's a couple other guys, and then everybody else is what I like to call the milks. 2%, 1%, or no chance to win this thing. So you have about 6 guys that really have a shot to win this thing, and it starts with Colton Herta, who's on the pole and has the shortest odds at plus 250.
Eric Casilius, always a pleasure. On behalf of Art Edmonds, I'm Mike Straka. Anytime, I look forward to again working with you again. It's just been a pleasure.
Michael, anytime, guys. Thanks, man.
All right. Art, take it away.
All right, well, listen, back to racing, obviously, is our focus here today. And we had the opportunity to talk with Graham Rahal, obviously a winner off the track as well, just had a baby girl with his wife, Courtney Force. Courtney's sister, Brittany Force, was on my show, Military Makeover. We had the chance to, she actually drove me around and sped around.
How fast did Brittany take you?
Well, it was a rental car Chevrolet, but she still peeled out.
Well, Courtney also drives, Graham's wife, she's also a racer as well, and they come from a big family of racers, don't they?
They sure do. Their dad was a huge drag racer. The Force family is a force in that world. So Viorica had the chance to catch up with Graham Rahal, and let's see how that goes.
Sweet.
I said congratulations on your baby girl.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been exciting for me to have a little girl. It's a whole new world for me these days, but it's been great.
Is she racing already?
No. Well, I think she dreams of it. Actually, the other day I had a race on TV, and she was very stuck, glued to the TV watching it. But I hope. I mean, she's only 5.5 months, so I hope that we've got a long time before that conversation happens. We'll see. I mean, obviously, racing's on both sides. My side of the family as well as my wife's. But like I said, I hope that I would prefer she doesn't go into racing, but that's kind of a long topic. It just, there's a lot of pressure when you follow in the footsteps of, in her case, it would have been her parents as well as her grandparents. It's a lot to live up to.
I want to ask you about the street racing. This is a very special course. How do you prepare yourself physically?
Well, it's actually a little easier this year, and the reason is because we had our first race last weekend, so my body already kind of knows what to expect. Having said that, you come here to St. Pete, they repaved a lot of this track in recent years, so it's not as bumpy as it used to be. But traditionally, street courses are very bumpy compared to other permanent road courses, so the bumps and bruises on the body and the elbows and stuff, get a little bit worse. But really, the training, for me, is all about in the winter is neck strength is a lot of it, a lot of cardiovascular work to keep your heart rate low, keep your lungs in shape. But like I said, it's a little bit easier this time around because we typically race at St. Pete as the first race of the year. And when you do that, your body has not been in a 2-hour-long race in 6 months. So you don't really know exactly what to expect. This time, we raced just last weekend. So the body kind of knows what to expect.
And about last weekend, an accident happened there, a crash. Carlton Heta was involved, and you Garden as well, and others. You maneuver very well.
Yeah.
And you keep going.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was all about just trying to keep my eyes up, trying to pay attention, and be able to get through it. I knew that I expected an accident to happen. I thought that it would because I thought that the opportunity, first race of the year, there's a lot of adrenaline going and everything else. I thought that the opportunity for an incident to happen was very high. The biggest thing you have to do is obviously pay attention and make sure that when you see the accident, see the smoke, you lift and kind of get prepared for it. And we were fortunate to be able to do that.
A few words for our fans, because I'm sure they love you very much and they want to hear a few words only from you.
Well, yeah, no, I'm excited about this year. I've always been very appreciative of all the support that we've gotten. It's going to be a challenging year. It's ultra competitive in IndyCar racing right now. I don't see that changing anytime soon, but we do appreciate the support. We hope everybody's doing well during this time and recovering well from the COVID pandemic. I hope that we're able to get back to even more, sense of normalcy here in the very near future. We already are. We're seeing that progressively, but hopefully more in the very near future. And we're excited to see people out at the races.
All right, great interview, Viorica. And it's not just about racing here in St. Petersburg. We're joined once again back from our Super Bowl event. I'm glad we didn't scare you away. Carl Everett, MLB legend. Great to have you here. You're also born and raised Tampa resident. What is so special about having a big event like this in our own backyard?
Well, I actually lived over here in St. Pete for like the last 5 years. Now I'm back in Tampa. And I actually had no idea it was here. And then one day I'm driving, I'm like, where's all these people going? And you hear all the engines revving. So I'm like, oh, wow. I knew they had boat racing here before. Yeah. And I actually lived on that lake. I lived on the Lake McGuire where they had the boat racing years ago. And now I'm like, you got Indy racing here? Because I always went to, Daytona and went to the races. And I was like, wow, something I didn't know.
Well, as a professional athlete, you had such an amazing career in baseball. What do you see these drivers? I mean, they're really athletes. We talked about this early. Each track is different, just like every stadium is different, right?
Well, every stadium is different, but the mound is the same distance. So you don't have to worry about what type of pitch the guy has, how hard he's throwing. And I stick to my strengths. And one of the guys that I went to school with, his brother is a race car driver. So, and just talking with that, it's the 43 car. So we're talking with that, I always try to say what's a sport, what's not a sport, but you actually have to be athletic to drive that car.
You certainly do. Mike, you were saying that earlier.
Yeah, we were talking to the drivers earlier this week, and they were telling me they have to train differently for each different track, because every track has its own obstacles and its own challenges. When you were playing, what kind of training did you do for yourself? I mean, obviously a lot of sprints and a lot of stretching, but it's a different type of training for baseball, isn't it? Than for most other sports.
For me, I took a full off season. A lot of guys, they take a month off and then they jump right back in it. But I had to get my hands tough because you lose that timing when you take that much time off. I hated hitting in the off season, and I pretty much went into spring training to swing the bat, but I had to get my hands tough enough for the long haul. So kind of call it the fat guy sport.
Right.
Because you can be kind of out of shape, but it's tough standing up, and then you can be playing a position one day and not one ball be hit to you until the ninth inning and surprise. So you kind of get in shape to wait for that one moment.
You know, you talked about guys who only take a month off, and you said you took a whole off season off. I cover a lot of mixed martial arts guys and UFC fighters, and they tell me there's something called ring rust. You know, if they're out for over a year, even though they're in the gym every day, but it's a different type of training than when you're actually fighting. Do baseball players get ring rust, so to speak?
Well, I coach kids, so when I coach the kids, I say the first thing to go is your defense. So if you're not working on catching the ball and getting your legs in the position, you're going to lose your defense first. So hitting the ball, it comes back a lot quicker than your defense. So the longer you're out, the less you're going to perform on defense. And in our sport, everybody concentrates on hitting. On hitting, but without defense, you can't win. You can win a game without a hit, but you can never win a game without a catch.
Very true, and I'll tell you what, you mentioned working with the kids and the next generation of baseball players. Who do you see playing professionally right now that has sort of caught your eye and you think is going to be the next big-time star?
Well, there's several of them out there. I love Mookie. I hated when Mookie left. Of course, you have Mike Trout out there. Mike Trout is going to be there for a while. Here in Tampa, they got a whole group of new kids here, and for some odd reason, they draft well. It's like their minor league system over and over again. They get rid of good players, and then next thing you know, like, where's this guy coming from? So the game is a little different, you know, but they got some guys that can swing the bat.
Well, you know what? It's great to have you swing by our desk here and spend some time with us. And like I said, we've been jumping all over the map from cocktails and culinary to racing to baseball. We talked a little football before. And now we're going to say goodbye to Carl, and we're going to welcome our next guest, Dan Myrick, director of the Blair Witch Project and so many new things. He does a lot of projects here in the Tampa Bay area. Carl, thank you so much for being a part of our program.
Appreciate it
so much, my friend.
Awesome. Great to meet you, Carl.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
So as long as our intrepid producer, Christian, would let our next guest come up to the set, that'd be really awesome. What's up, Christian? You having fun over there, brother?
Yeah, we need Dan
Dan,
Myrick
come on
over
up,
here.
Dan.
Yeah.
You know, Dan would have been here on time, but Christian, come on in. We got. Now that I've mentioned you, we got to tell everybody who Christian is. What's up, Christian?
Hey, how are you doing? Happy
Good.
Sunday.
Dan, have a seat right here. Dan, have a seat.
Over here?
Dan, you get the hot seat. Dan Myrick.
So,
and like I said in our intro, I mean, you're known for that amazing, groundbreaking film, The Blair Witch Project. You have a Central Florida connection as well, don't you? And a bunch of new projects that you're shooting right here in the Tampa Bay area.
That's right. I'm an alum from UCF film program. Grew up in Sarasota, Florida, and spent many years here in Southwest Florida. So yeah, we started Blair Witch in Orlando and shot a lot of it in Maryland, but we also shot a lot in Florida. And my most recent film, Skyman, we shot some stuff in Sarasota. But yeah, we're doing a project called Black Veil, which is sort of a Southern Gothic horror, mini-series sort of thing. And myself directed the first episode before COVID hit, and then we've got Tommy McLaughlin, who's from Friday the 13th fame. He's going to be doing our second episode here in May, late May, and we've got several more episodes to shoot after that. We'd like it to be an ongoing series, so we're excited.
how many different directors and of what kind of franchises are they affiliated with?
Well, most of them are all horror franchise. So Jeffrey Reddick is partnered with us on that, who did the Final Destination. He's a writer on Final Destination, so he established that. Also Danny McBride from Underworld. Yep. So we've got guys that are all in that horror genre, and they're veterans. And we decided we'd create this medium for them to be able to really get creative and kind of use Florida as a backdrop, sort of a Southern Gothic horror backdrop to kind of convey these cool short story ideas.
And obviously my friend and colleague over here, Christian Krempel, what was your involvement with him and how did he help you, maybe you can answer this, bringing Dan Myrick back to the Bay Area? You sort of wooed him back here, didn't you?
He's my friend too now.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Let's hear him say that.
So, yeah, no, I am equally invested in all three of you, so thank you.
But Dan and
But you like me best.
I do, especially on Sunday brunch time.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
So Dan and I were on. Dan was kind enough to call me on Skyman a few years ago. I had not produced a movie before, so I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we could use an extra producer on Skyman," and I said, "How much does it pay?" And he said, "0." Zero.
So
And,
kind of like this gig.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Kind of
kid.
like this gig.
And you got to pick up your own expenses.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, there's no catering either.
But they said, "Oh, it's the guy that did Blair Witch, and it's in the middle of the desert." And I was totally down, and I went out there, and within.
Hence the hat, by the way.
Yes. It was sun.
The camouflage
German.
hat.
So yeah, we put together this little like arts and crafts project. I thought for summer camp for adults because we had like a arts and crafts department, and it was so organic for me. And then I started talking to him. We realized we're both from Longboat Key, Sarasota, and the intersection point was there, and here we are now, a couple projects into it.
And listen, only a minute left in our program, so we're going to save the best for last. Tell us about your latest projects and where we can find them.
Well, you can go to blackveilonline.com. You can find out what we're doing with the Black Veil series. So that's the primary thing that we're doing right now over the next several months. We want to shoot all around this area, use these locations. As a matter of fact, I'm scouting locations next week for multiple episodes of the Black Veil project. I'm also writing a script that takes place in the Everglades that I hope to be shooting next year.
I could play an alligator.
Plenty of alligators and pythons in this one. So that's a
no, we got the snake right here.
It's just like Hollywood.
Yeah. So plenty
Just like Hollywood.
Plenty of stuff there to get your teeth into, no pun intended. But yeah, we're going to keep things busy. Now that we're sort of on the back end of COVID, we can get things ramped up again. I mean, it's one of my favorite places to shoot. There's plenty of locations, and everyone's very enthusiastic.
Well, we're so thrilled to have you here, Dan Myrick, Christian Krempel,
Great to be here.
Mike Straka, I'm Art Edmonds, and this has been the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg pre-race show. Hope you guys enjoyed our live stream on Fight TV and Sports Talk Florida. Great event, Mike. Great job, man. Thank you did you, a lot man. of work behind the scenes, putting this all together. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one. Great job, guys.
Awesome.